I am super excited today because of the guest that I have. I believe that her story is going to encourage a lot of people. A lot of people will be impacted, and a lot of people are going to go away with hope. So I'm not going to say a lot. All I can say is keep watching. Welcome, Shamie, to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Sue. Thank you so much. I am super excited to be here.
I am as well.
Yes.
It's been a long time coming here. We've been trying to do this to get together to sit and have this
Yeah, we've been trying
for a while.
for a while. Yeah. I'm glad we're here now.
I am
I'm
as
glad
well.
we're
I am
here
as
now.
well.
Yeah.
So now, Shamie, please, can you just introduce yourself to the audience so they get to know you, and give us background information about yourself, about your life.
Okay, so I think I'm a simple woman. Yeah, my name is Shamie Fox. So I think from Facebook you see Shamie Fox. Yeah.
Exactly. I do. I was actually wondering that is that your surname?
Yeah. So Shamie is short for like Shamiso,
Okay.
and then Fox is short for Chifokoyo.
Okay.
So it's a long name, so you just want to shorten it so people can actually be able to pronounce it. And it's just a name I carried from long back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and till now it's so I just took it. I love it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's got a nice ring to it.
Yes,
Shamie Fox.
Shamie Fox. It's got a it's got a nice ring to it. Yeah. So I'm a mom to two boys, and I believe I'm a minister of the word.
Amen to
Yes,
that.
yeah. And that's my calling. That's where I am called to be in ministry, and I think that's what then linked us.
Yes.
Yeah, because there was an element of Christ in there. So
Definitely.
yeah, it is. Some people would then have to remove Christ, but then I am because of Christ. So yes, that's I think that's me, and I'm a podcaster, I'm a blogger. Yes, and I think that's the summary of who I am.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Lovely, lovely, wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, before she starts her testimony about what God has done and continues to do in her life, I want to say something quickly. So we actually met online. Somehow we connected, and I think it was during COVID actually. I can't remember.
Yeah,
A few years ago.
So, yeah, a few years ago.
So we
Yeah.
had a commonality in that, first of all, the Lord Jesus Christ, we talk about
Yes.
him. We like talking about hope, and we like encouraging people,
Yes.
and we like motivating people. And we decided to collaborate. She actually invited me onto her podcast. In fact, I was the first guest.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. A few weeks ago, I think it was early September. So that was an honor. And so, it's just an example of how we don't always have to be competing, as women, we need to come together
Yes.
and collaborate and do things together. So it was wonderful to be able to meet someone who's like-minded and who's got the same vision in that regard. So yeah, it's wonderful. She is a powerhouse. I really believe so, and I've seen that. I've seen, the things that she writes. I've watched her podcasts and her videos. So she'll tell you more about that. So I think I can say at this stage over to you, Shamie. And some know her as Coach Shamie. She'll tell you why.
Oh, yeah.
So over to you. Please tell us, what has the Lord done for you?
Oh, so many things, like really so many things. So for me, I think in all that he has done, like the whole lot of things, I want to talk about the becoming, where I had to then come to this point that I want to to preach Christ to the world. It's not an easy decision. For some it's easy. For some it's easy. But when you're a person that feel like am I actually going to make something out of it? Is it? And then you're like, do I want to do it full time? But what is full time? What is part time?
Exactly. That's
So it started from when I was in school. And then we had a very powerful woman who used to come and minister to us. I was in boarding school. Her name is Reverend Faithful Manjoro. She was a powerhouse. She is a very, very powerful woman. So then from there, I accepted Christ, and then I started the whole journey. But unfortunately, along the way, we had to separate with Reverend. But I feel it's only now that I'm older that I get to see that God needed me to go a certain place alone. Yes, to go a certain place alone, and to also bring in new teachers, to also bring in new people in my life. So it then started from there, and then I figured, you know what, I discovered that I'm highly prophetic. The prophetic gift is
You
in
discovered
me.
your
Yes.
gift, your spiritual gift.
Yes, I discovered it. So, and then, but at first I was like, no. I was like, no. Because you know what? I was like, but God, how am I supposed to live? How am I supposed to fend for myself? I want to become someone, I want to become a doctor or a lawyer or
a profession,
something.
have a profession.
Yes. And not be a prophet, because you know how it is. You see people around you, it's like they are begging for money, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So
You want to have enough money.
yes,
So you were worried that ministry equals to
yes,
not
I
having
don't want
money.
to have to be saying that for me to survive, I need people to take care of me, because you know how it is when you want to take care of yourself, when you want to do things for yourself. So then that's when the journey began for me. It been having to ignore it, but then with the things of God, you can't ignore it.
No, you can't.
It will follow you wherever you
go.
wherever
Even if you move
you
physically.
go. Yes, even if you're
nudge.
not there, because it's something that He has placed on you, and you haven't done something about it. It will keep coming. It'll keep coming to you, and then you're like, why am I feeling this way? Why is it when I get to someone, I actually start encouraging them, even when you don't want to, when you're not being, and then over the years, you're like running and then doing it, running, doing it, running, doing it. And then 2012, that's when I decided I just wanted to start. I was writing stuff. I have got lots of journals that I've written.
She's also a writer, by the way.
Yes. So I decided, why not I compile these things into an audio, like into an audio CD. So then that's when I did the audio CD, and I was like, what should I name it? And then I said Rays of Hope.
Oh, I love that. Rays
of Hope, because it was just giving encouragement, hope, and everything. And then from there, that's when the Facebook page that I had created, it was in my name, and then I had to rename it to Rays of Hope.
Rays of Hope.
Yes, with Shamie. Yeah, Rays of Hope with Shamie. So it came from there, from the audio CDs, and then that's when podcast came in as well. So I would then do it, and then sometimes you get discouraged along the way, and then you stop. And then it calls you back again. And then calls you back again. And then I then got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm not the lawyer that I wanted to be.
Oh, you wanted to be a lawyer?
Yes, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Right. Nice.
But then God took me into a different path. Which was also good, because I also managed to thrive in it. But then I was like, I'm not that person. But I was like trying to run away from who I am. It's in me. I can't run away from it. And I know that I'm meant to be great. I know that God has a bigger picture and a bigger calling for me. And I want to live it. I don't want to die and feel like, oh, I could have.
What would it have been like?
Yes, on your deathbed, you're like, I could have reached millions of people, but I was too scared.
Yeah.
I could have, it's at that place where you're at your deathbed where you realize that there was so much more I could have done. And most of the people, like the regrets of the dying, I think someone wrote that book.
Yes,
Yes.
I've seen
I
that,
think one
yeah.
of the things is what most people want is another chance.
Yeah.
Just one more chance.
more chance.
Just one more chance. And they want to do things differently. And you then realize maybe I was so concerned about the status. I was so concerned about this, and yet what's more important is my life, my journey with Jesus.
And your purpose.
And your
fulfilling
purpose.
your purpose.
Yes. So you find that I then got to a place where I was like, you know what, this is me. If I'm going to move like that, God, start teaching me. Start showing me. You know how when Moses was being told, when God was telling Moses that I'm not going with you, and Moses was like, I'm not leaving this place without you.
Yeah.
Teach me your ways. Teach me your ways so that I may know you and find favor with you. So that's the point I got to, and I was like, I'm sticking to this, God. I'm not moving. I'm not doing anything unless you start teaching me your ways, because you have placed this inside me.
Yeah.
So I want it to sprout.
Yes.
I want it to do that which you want in this world. And then I think from that decision, I've just been like, I am going to win souls to Christ. I'm going to win
That
souls
is so
to
powerful,
Christ.
Shamie, because I think that was a watershed moment. Because you were trying to run away. It reminded me of Jonah, actually.
Oh,
Trying
yeah.
to run away from what you're supposed to do, until you got to a point almost like in a corner. Like, I'm picturing you there at the corner of a wall where you're saying,
Yes.
okay, Lord,
Yeah.
like, I'm going to be obedient, but
Yes.
you're going to have to help me.
You have to.
You're going to have to help me. And I think
You
a
have
lot
to
of people
help
find
me.
themselves in that place. So then, continue. What happened then?
Yes, and then that's when I was like, so in that space, and then I remember just having a conversation with my friend, and then she says that, you know what, if God then gave you something to do it, and do it very well.
Yeah.
If He says you're going to leave the country, do it as well. So whatever it is that He wants you to do it, do it.
Do it.
Even if you do the videos and one person sees it, it's okay.
You've touched one life.
Yes,
Yeah.
you've touched one life. And consider it as a training ground.
Yes.
It's like training, like we are learning. Because when then God then gives you a bigger channel,
Yeah.
you're not going to be scared.
No.
You're not
Because you were
going to
doing
be
it
scared.
even for one person,
Yes, you were
so-
doing it for one person, and you were giving it your
Your
all.
all. Yeah.
So now when you are then taken to CBN, whatever channel, and then you're like, oh, they're like, we're giving you a channel, we want you to do this, your show, bring it there.
Yeah.
So you're not going to start saying, oh, how do I start learning? Oh, I don't know how to be on camera. But
That is so true. It's training ground. Start small.
so it's training ground. Start small.
You never know where God will take you.
But along the way, you're touching people.
Yes.
You're touching
Yes.
lives
Yes.
along the way,
Yes.
because we're not just doing this to just say, I want popularity. It's not about
It's to touch
popularity.
lives
It's to
and to
touch
be a
lives.
vessel.
To be a vessel, yes.
God will do His thing through you.
Through you, yes.
Yeah.
Because for God to do His work on this earth, He needs vessels.
He does.
He needs, and it's us.
It's
And
us,
for the
yeah.
devil to do his work on earth, he needs vessels as well.
Exactly.
Because he
That's
can't come
interesting.
down.
I like the way you put that. Very
So,
interesting. Yeah, but it's true.
yeah. So then you
Yeah.
see, it's either you're of the devil or you're of Christ. So which is which? Which is which? And from the devil is come to you to steal, kill, and destroy. And then from God there is life.
Amen
You
to
see,
that.
so it's a choice, and it was so interesting, and I love the fact that then my husband then was not like no, he was okay.
With
Then
you doing
start
that,
supporting. Sometimes
That's
you
important.
see,
That
he
is
starts
important.
supporting. Yes, it is very important, and you see him on the video. Sometimes he's playing the keyboard.
I have seen that. I have seen that on your page.
Yes, he's playing the keyboard.
the keyboard. Yeah,
Yes.
and filming as well.
Yes, and filming as
yeah.
well. So you also need that support, and also from the kids, they then understand that mom has this, that
That she's doing.
she's doing, she
Yeah.
needs to do. And I also feel like it also shows them, then they see, remember kids see us.
They do. They imitate.
Yes, they imitate.
They're watching. Yeah.
And then they'll end up in a place where they're like, I also want to do this. I also want to live my purpose.
I want to find out what am I created for.
Yes, because they
Yeah.
see us. They see
That's
us. They're like,
powerful. That is so powerful.
So
It's a powerful
mom,
lesson.
mom is trying to pursue her dream. She's trying to pursue her dream. So when I grow up, I also want to
pursue. I also want to ask God.
Yes,
to
what
help
is
me.
my
Yeah, what's my
purpose?
purpose?
Yes,
That
and
is
I also
powerful.
want to work for it. So I think that's basically who I am, and I'm walking. The thing with ministry is you never arrive.
No.
I don't think you ever arrive.
Yeah.
Even Paul, the greatest apostle, it was also saying that I may know you, that I may
Yeah.
know you. And you're like, but you did all those things. I mean, so there's never an arrival time. We always keep learning. And I think you always need to be a student in this. So it's a humbling experience, but now I'm happy.
You're happy.
I'm
Because
happy.
you're obeying God and He's
I'm
leading you.
obeying, yes, and is leading me. So even the word says, if you are willing, you eat the goodness of the land. You know,
Amen.
yeah.
Amen.
If you are willing and obedient, yeah.
So what I wanted to ask, thank you so much for that, Shamie. I've noticed on your page it's written God's mouthpiece.
Oh,
I love that. I love that. Tell us about that.
oh yeah.
I like that.
Because I felt like, okay, so if I'm prophetic, it's God using me. I'm like his mouthpiece, like what we're saying, vessels.
Vessels,
Yes.
yeah.
So for vessels, it means I've given my life that God, do what you want. I'm your mouthpiece. Yeah, so I'm like,
That's powerful.
yeah.
I saw it and I loved it.
So
And
I'm
then
like, yeah, send me. I'm your
I'm your
mouthpiece.
mouthpiece. And then also I want to ask, you talk about it's rays of hope. So I'm supposing that in everything that you're doing, in being this mouthpiece, in being obedient, in being used by the Lord, that you're bringing hope to the hopeless.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that
Oh,
before
yeah.
we wind off.
Okay, so hope to the hopeless. Yes, this is because when you then find and you study the words, it's then I was like, God has sent me to he wants to set the captives free. You see, so and like we were saying, I'm his mouthpiece. So hope, when you're setting someone free, you've got to show them hope because they have to see that there's light at the end,
At
of,
the end
the
of the
tunnel.
tunnel, yeah.
Yes, because when you're in a dark place, a very dark place, it's not a very nice place to be because it gets you to a point where you start compromising.
Yeah.
You start compromising on your faith. You start compromising on a whole lot of things. So most of these people, even vano, what you call it, vano romba, like what they do is, it's someone who has come, who is in the darkness. They are at a hard place.
And they're not seeing any
They're
way
not
out.
seeing
No
any way
options.
out. There are no
Yeah.
options. So they're like, you know what? For me to survive, I have to sell my soul. So, but now, when you then come with hope,
With the word of God, with God in the picture.
you see,
Yeah.
then it starts showing there's light. So the probability of them compromising then goes
It
down.
diminishes. Okay,
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
You're doing an amazing job.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Touching so many
you.
lives.
Thank you.
Tell us a bit about, I know you're called Coach Shamie as well. Tell us a little bit about that. What is that about?
Oh, that. Okay, so I think for also being part of that journey is like I also help you to guide you into your life, into your purpose with clarity.
Yeah.
So most people that do that are coaches.
Yes,
yes,
that's
are
true.
coaches. So I was like, okay, so and then I actually then had to go online and actually study about it. Yes, and then Coach Shamie was born. Yeah, so it's more of that, about the people's journey, yeah.
And that's
helping
one-on-one?
people. Yes, one-on-one.
Okay.
Yes.
So Shamie, I think what we're going to do at the end just now is to put up your details in case anybody wants to get hold of you. I think you said you help people to be able to maybe to find their purpose or maybe to refine it.
To refine
find
it, yes,
out
as well.
exactly what they're supposed to be doing. and just to help them to hold their hand. And I think a lot of people need that.
Oh yeah,
That's an amazing thing as well that you're doing. So any parting words to our audience before we wind off?
Yeah, I think the parting words that I'll leave is that if, like I mentioned earlier, if you are willing and you are obedient, you will get to see and to experience the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. So that means that even in your purpose, you've got to be willing. You can't just leave something that you do not want and you then sit and complain that it's not working out. It starts within you. You have to be willing that I want God to use me, that I want to, even in my calling. So it's not always about being a preacher, standing on the pulpit. Wherever you are right now, we are also ministering, doing whatever we are doing. You also have to win souls. It's our mandate. So you've got to be willing. You've got to put that effort to want to be something, because we are all born great.
Thank you for that. You know, it's amazing that you're saying that, because I know a lot of people always think you have to be a prophet, you have to be a teacher, you have to be directly doing the work of God, and you know, and that those are the things that are most visible, but it can be in so many different areas. Your purpose could be somewhere in the background even, not necessarily in the limelight. So thank you for those words. Thank you, Shamie.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank
pleasure having you, and I hope we'll have you again maybe next year or the year after to find out where you're at. Find out what you're doing.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tsugi. Yeah, all right.
Thank you for joining us. I hope that encouraged somebody and blessed somebody, and I'll be putting up the details now at the end of this video. Bye-bye for now, and I'll see you next time.